These protesters may have different views on Brexit, but they agree on one thing: their anger over Theresa May's handling of the UK's divorce from the EU.
I'm frustrated. I think we need to move on quickly. The time is running out. The clock is running down. We voted to leave the European Union. We didn't vote to get a good deal from the EU.
We've basically got a weak and rudderless government at the moment, and what we need is some kind of resolution, some way forward.
May's idea of a way forward is to go back to the negotiating table with the EU to get concessions that will get lawmakers on her side.
Does this House want to deliver Brexit?
Despite facing calls to resign, threats of a no-confidence vote, and rebellion from within her own party, May is making a last-ditch effort to push for a better deal.
I still believe there is a majority to be won in this House in support of it, if I can secure additional reassurance on the question of the backstop. And that is what my focus will be in the days ahead.
But that's not going to be easy, as EU leaders rule out renegotiations, which includes the controversial Irish backstop. What they're ready to discuss is a no-deal scenario, which May's critics say is increasingly becoming a possible outcome.
This room, if used intelligently, is room enough to give further clarifications and further interpretations without opening the withdrawal agreement. This will not happen. Everyone has to know that the withdrawal agreement will not be reopened.
The decision to delay the Parliament vote shook investors, causing them to dump UK shares on Monday. The sell-off prompted the sterling to plunge to a 20-month low.
It's just so much uncertainty at the moment. If we start getting a no-confidence vote, if it looks like we're going for a general election, it's absolutely going to weigh down on sterling. But if we start hearing from the summit this week from the EU that it looks like that we may get a bit of leeway on that backstop, definitely going to be seen as a positive.
Even if Theresa May manages to achieve something from her visit, there's no guarantee it'll be enough to limit the backlash she's likely to face when she returns home. Laila Humairah, TRT World.
Well, let's bring in Denis MacShane from London. He's the former UK Minister for Europe and author of Brexit No Exit: Why Britain in the End Won't Leave Europe. Welcome to the programme. So we heard there the European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker rule out any renegotiation of this draft Brexit deal. The German Chancellor Angela Merkel has pretty much said the same thing. So what exactly is Theresa May looking to secure from the EU? What sort of concessions might she hope for?
There aren't any concessions. She just has to show she's done something this week. She humiliated very senior members of her cabinet who only yesterday morning, Monday morning, were on every airwave on the BBC and Sky saying there will be a vote on Tuesday, today. And then she went to the House of Commons and said, oh, there won't be a vote. So she's made her party look foolish, herself look foolish, her government look foolish. So what do? You get in a plane, you jump off to see other foreign leaders to show that you're actually doing something. But she knows perfectly well there's very, very little, maybe a symbolic word there, a nice word somewhere else. But she's just padding out time, hoping that enough of her MPs will come back and support her. I don't think they will. This country is in a very serious political, constitutional crisis, and the consequences for the economy and for business are really terrifying.
Yes, and we're seeing those consequences play out in recent months with all the volatility on equity markets and sterling. But let's look briefly at this Irish backstop issue, which seems to be the bone of contention here. So this is the provision that prevents the need for checkpoints at the Irish border in the event of a no-deal Brexit, which, as we heard, is looking increasingly more likely. I'm wondering, do you think that the EU will be able to budge on this? There are concerns in Theresa May's party that the UK would be locked into this arrangement indefinitely. Could the EU allay those fears?
It's not the EU, it's the people of Ireland, it's Dublin. It's like saying that the Greeks should come back and occupy part of Turkey, or alternatively, if you like, Turkey should go and occupy part of the Balkans. No, this is about a 200, 300, 400-year-long conflict. I mean, only yesterday, only 20, 30 years ago, over 3,600 people were killed, thousands wounded in what in effect was a civil war in Northern Ireland. And then finally peace was arrived at. A lot of concessions both sides, Conservative Prime Minister, Labour Prime Minister, the European Union underwriting it all, the United Nations, the White House, and peace was settled on one solemn agreement that never again will the two islands be separated by a physical border. You could be British in the north and Irish in the south, but never again will there be checkpoints. You have to open your boot, you have to open what's in the lorry, one economy. And now suddenly, because of Brexit, they're proposing, the hardline Tories, to put that border back in place. And Dublin says no, 27 other European countries say no, the British government says no, the majority of the House of Commons say no. So this is how important this is. There are men in Ireland ready to go back, pick up the guns and start fighting for a united Ireland and to drive the British out. It's nonsense, but the violence can come back very fast. That is what all of Europe understands. It's what Mrs May understands, to be fair, but she's got hard-line, right-wing, sort of grey wolf type Tory MPs who don't give a toss about peace in Ireland.
And indeed, there are reports that some of those hardliners are getting closer to achieving a no-confidence vote within the Conservative Party over Theresa May's leadership. There's pressure on opposition leader Jeremy Corbyn to enact his own no-confidence motion in Parliament. Can Theresa May survive this?
She can, yes, but she'll be so wounded. I think at the end of the day, there's still a lot more. There's 50 more Tory MPs than there are Labour MPs, and I don't see the Conservative Party. They're friends of mine. I know them very well. I don't see them voting to hand power to Jeremy Corbyn, who they despise as a ultra-left winger. He isn't really that left wing, but never mind, that's his image. So when it comes to confidence in the government, I think Theresa May can survive. Inside her own party, less sure, but again, the Conservatives know that there's no replacement leader. They're fanatical, Europe-hating right-wingers who love to take over, but they would just bring the country even further down. And then there are some steady party managers. You have them in all political parties, but they wouldn't be able to deliver anything different. The fundamental divide in the country caused by a referendum 2.5 years ago based on lies, on foreign interference and a lot of cheating, that fundamental problem hasn't been solved. And personally, I think the only way out of this now to cut the Gordian knot would be a new referendum, but Mrs May can't bring herself to say that. And Jeremy Corbyn is cautious on it now. We're very poor. It's easy for me, I'm out of politics now, but really the quality of leadership, political leadership across the board in Britain is the weakest we've seen in 100 years.
Meanwhile, we're all on the edge of our seats waiting for the next developments. Denis MacShane in London, thank you.